So that is how you would take a specific student through the entire registration process, from them having to pay their deposit to them actually moving into the physical unit and being billed for their rent as well as their utilities. The utilities are loaded onto the development as a base offering, so you would not have to create any contracts for the utilities. It would only have to be for rent. The tariffs are also already included within the setup, so that would be updated by us on a yearly basis, or as you request. We would send through a updated tariff letter which you can sign off, and then we would implement any changes. So as discussed, I'd also just like to walk through certain tips that I'd like to give you, or to avoid any confusion when going through this whole process. So as mentioned, it is quite important that when you actually occupy a unit, that it is done on the day that the tenant or the student moves into the specific unit. We can only backbill on the system when creating a pending user, but seeing as pending users are created within the virtual building, that would be irrelevant, as they are only billed the specific once-off contract for their deposit. So when occupying a unit, again, it's important to do this on the day that they move, seeing as we cannot select a start date but only an end date. When a tenant moves from one unit to another, it would work exactly the same as moving them from the virtual building to the physical building. You would just simply go to a occupied unit within the physical building, vacate them there, and then occupy them within the new unit that they are moving into. It is also important to note that when moving a student from one unit to another, the unit they are moving into, that all contracts have been terminated. In a case where the utility contracts came to an end, there might be a case where the rental contracts are still going on. You are able to end individual contracts rather than vacating them and ending everything. We would simply just select a specific contract, for the end user to end. For example, should we want to update their rent, we can go to contracts. We would go to their fixed term contract, which is their rental contract, and we can say terminate contract. The contract will then be terminated with immediate effect. They won't get billed during the next billing run, which would be the 1st of October. And then should we want to update the amount, whether it's more or less than they're currently paying, we would just repeat the process of going to development, contracts, and then creating a new fixed term contract for the same tenant.